In a quiet village, there lived a woman with a heart overflowing with generosity. Every morning before the sun fully rose, she was already awake preparing breakfast for her family, her husband, her daughter, and her son. But there was something special about her daily routine. Beyond the food for her loved ones, she always baked one extra loaf of bread and placed it on her windowsill. That extra piece was meant for any hungry traveler who might pass by. Her home was modest, but the size of her heart showed in every gesture. She believed no one should go hungry, not even those without homes or families. For many days, a hunchbacked man with a limp appeared at the same time each morning. He would take the bread silently and eat it right there, never once saying thank you. Instead of expressing gratitude, he would repeat the same cryptic phrase, "The evil you do stays with you, and the good you do comes back to you." The woman didn't understand it. Why couldn't he just say a simple thank you? Was he rude or simply indifferent? This question grew inside her with each passing day. As time went on, her patience began to wear thin. It was as if his lack of gratitude wounded her, despite all the effort she put in. Finally, in a moment of frustration, she decided she'd had enough. "I'm tired of this ungrateful man. I'll teach him a lesson," she thought, letting anger take control. That night, as she prepared the dough for the next day's bread, dark thoughts consumed her mind. Driven by this impulse, she did something terrible. She mixed poison into the dough. Her heart, once so generous, seemed to harden in seconds. She was convinced this would put an end to the hunchback's daily visits. But when morning came and she picked up the bread to place it on the windowsill, her hands began to shake. As she stared at the loaf, a chill ran through her body. "What am I doing?" she whispered, frightened by her own actions. In that instant, a crushing weight of guilt overtook her. Horrified by what she'd almost done, she threw the poisoned bread directly into the fire, watching it turn to ash. Weeping, she prepared another loaf, fresh and pure, and placed it on the windowsill as she did every day. As she did so, she made a silent prayer that this gesture might truly help someone in need. Shortly after, the hunchback appeared as always, took the bread, and repeating his mysterious phrase continued on his way, never knowing the danger he'd just escaped. Days continued to pass, and the woman maintained her routine, fresh bread on the windowsill every morning. But deep down, what occupied her mind most was her son. He had left months earlier in search of a better future, but since then, no news had arrived. Every morning, as she kneaded the dough, she prayed silently that God would protect him, give him strength and bring him back home, safe and sound. Then one evening, an unexpected sound came at her door. It was a weak knock, almost desperate. When she opened it, her eyes filled with tears. Before her stood her long-awaited son, but he wasn't as before. His face was pale and gaunt, his clothes torn, his body visibly weakened. He looked like someone who hadn't eaten in days. He barely had the strength to stand before collapsing into his mother's arms. With a trembling voice, he whispered, "Mother, it's a miracle I'm here." He told her that during his journey, he had fainted from hunger and believed he wouldn't survive. But in the midst of his weakness, someone appeared. A hunchbacked man approached and offered him the only bread he had. "I eat this every day, but today you need it more than I do," the stranger said before departing. The mother, hearing this, felt her heart race and her hand instinctively went to her mouth. She immediately recognized who her son was talking about. The same man who took her bread every day, the one who never thanked her but always repeated that mysterious phrase. The world seemed to spin around her as she realized what could have happened. If she had carried out her dark plan, that poisoned bread could have ended up in the hands of her own son. Her entire body trembled at this revelation. A cold chill ran down her spine and tears streamed down her face. "My God! What if I had done it?" she whispered, unable to finish the sentence. Her exhausted son didn't understand the reason for his mother's reaction, but she knew exactly the gravity of what had almost happened. In that moment, she finally understood the true meaning of the phrase repeated by the hunchback, "The evil you do stays with you, and the good you do comes back to you." Those words that once seemed strange and irritating now made profound sense. The woman realized that the kindness she had offered for so long had returned to save her son's life. And more, she understood that even the smallest gesture of generosity could change entire destinies. The hunchback, who never thanked her in words, had shown gratitude in the truest form, by passing the kindness forward. He had nothing, yet still gave his only food to someone in greater need. In this silent act, he revealed a lesson far greater than any words of thanks could bring. The woman came to see that good, when practiced, never disappears. It's like a seed planted in the soil. It may take time, it may face storms, but at some point it blooms somewhere, and often returns when we least expect it and exactly where we need it most. She also understood the terrible weight she would have carried if she had followed through with her vengeful impulse. The evil she almost committed wouldn't have just hurt the hunchback, but could have destroyed the life of the one she loved most. This made her reflect on how often anger and perceived ingratitude blind us, making us forget who we truly are. In that moment, her heart was filled with a new certainty. Good is always stronger than evil, even when it seems small or unnoticed. And the phrase that had bothered her so much before now echoed within her as a guide. The evil you do stays with you, and the good you do comes back to you. If this message touched you, share it so it can reach even more people. Every simple gesture of support creates gratitude and returns as blessings. If this resonated with you, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, and continue with me on this journey. There's still so much content that can transform the way you see life. I also want to hear from you. Leave in the comments how these words moved your heart and how your search for peace and balance has been going. We'll walk side by side on this path of awakening and healing, because truly this is all just beginning.